Welcome back to our June 2nd edition of For the Record. It's Jason Farr. They're going to be walking in the park this Saturday to help find a cure for scleroderma, the chronic, often progressive autoimmune disease. Let's find out more now with these three, more about the disease and, of course, the walking in the park. We're joined by Maureen Sauvé, president of the Scleroderma Society of Ontario. Dr. Nader Khaladi is here too. He's a rheumatologist at St. Joseph's Healthcare, and Dr. Jerry Cox, a pulmonologist at St. Joseph's Healthcare as well. Thank you all three for joining us.
Thank you.
Maureen, I'd like to begin with you. Let's talk in a nutshell. What is scleroderma, and who's likely to get it?
Well, first of all, who's likely to get it? It can happen to anybody from ages 3 through 60, male or female, but it is predominantly a female disease. 80 to 90% are women aged average 42 years of age when they come down with the illness. It can be as simple as sort of a more topical, milder version where there is scarring of the skin externally. It can, of course, as you mentioned, chronic progressive for some individuals. It becomes systemic and attacks the lungs, heart, kidney, GI. Any or all of those are susceptible to the fibrosis or scarring that this disease causes.
You yourself, Maureen, are a sufferer. To what extent?
I have the systemic version of the disease. I've been diagnosed almost 7 years, and luckily with the help of great doctors like these two, I'm still doing well. Certainly I've had some issues. Mostly, the most common thing, of course, is the issues show up in the hands first, so I have some difficulty with my hands, but there is some scarring through the heart and GI tract particularly.
Dr. Khalidi, what is your role here? You're sort of atop the umbrella with this group.
Correct. The first point of contact usually is through the family doctor, but when people are discovered to have scleroderma, it depends on what organ gets involved, as Maureen was talking about, but we tend to be the specialists that are thought of as overlooking and overseeing scleroderma and its management.
Are you seeing a lot of scleroderma?
I personally do, because I subspecialize in scleroderma. Other rheumatologists see scleroderma, but it is a rare disease, so even my colleagues will refer patients to me to help with their management.
And Maureen was just saying off the top the many and far too many organs that are affected with scleroderma. So I guess you would deal with specialists in all those areas.
Correct. So I will oversee the initial investigations to see if a variety of the organs are involved, and depending on those organs that are involved, be it whether it's kidney, lung, heart, other organs can get involved. I deal mainly if the fingers get affected with blood flow, because not only does the thickening occur in the skin, but it occurs in other organs, which includes the blood vessels. So the blood vessels to the fingers can be affected, and that's called Raynaud's. So I would be the point person for the Raynaud's and for the skin, but if lungs, for instance, become involved, then I would do the initial testing and then refer to some of my colleagues like Dr. Cox.
Dr. Cox, the lungs, that's your thing?
Yes, indeed, yes.
And you're one of about 5 brought together to help take care of this complex condition.
Yes, as you've heard, there are different parts of the body that can be targeted by the disease. And because the disease is somewhat rare, it's possible that individual subspecialists wouldn't see very many patients with this condition. And that hampers taking the best care of people, because any individual subspecialist mightn't have a great deal of experience. And I think one of the very important steps forward in helping care of patients with scleroderma is what's been spearheaded by Dr. Khalidi and his colleague Dr. Larche, and that is the assembly of a group of subspecialists who will make themselves accessible and take care of patients with this condition and continue to follow them, because it is a lifelong condition once you get it.
When do you get together as a collective, as a group of doctors, and discuss what it is you can do as a group as well?
We do indeed, and that's something that's been gelled in the last year or two under the leadership of Drs. Larche and Khalidi. and with the support of the Scleroderma Society of Ontario, in order to allow us to have opportunities to meet and to share ideas. But on a smaller scale, we do have a number of individuals that meet regularly. For example, Dr. Khalidi and I have a joint clinic on a Friday afternoon where we will see patients together. And this helps with communication and cuts down the number of visits our patients have to make, and cuts down the delays in us coming up with an appropriate management suggestion for their problems.
Dr. Khalidi, how prevalent is scleroderma, and do we know the cause?
Well, unfortunately, the prevalence depends on where you're going to look. So if you look either in internationally or locally or nationally, but it is quite rare, and numbers, prevalence, so incidence numbers, the number of new cases per year range between 1 to maybe, again, depends on the population, but 1 per million to perhaps 30 per million. So hence you can see how rare. The prevalence, in other words, the number of cases, total number of cases, probably is around 300 per million, so still quite rare. And to the question of what causes this disease, we know it's autoimmune. In other words, we know that the immune system has been switched on to mistakenly attack a variety of the organs and are turned on to believe that it's something that should be attacked when it shouldn't be. But what actually switches that on and what we can do to switch it off are still topics of active research.
Right. And Maureen, given just how rare it is and how long I've known you, I've never known you to be one with the woe always me attitude. In fact, since you discovered 7 years ago, you are one of the rare victims. You've just done nothing but go after what it's all about and try to find a cure. And so that's what this walk is all about, I'm sure, this Saturday. That's why you're just back from a European trip to learn more. Tell us about the European trip, and then let's give this walk a terrific plug for Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, in February, the first World Systemic Sclerosis Congress was held in Florence, Italy. And the really good news is that there were more than 1,300 doctors and researchers present, representing 64 countries. So for a rare disease to have that many doctors and scientists involved in the research is really good news. There are some wonderful things happening in research for fibrosis, and we're looking forward to some, certainly some breakthroughs over the next couple of years that will provide some of the answers to at least more effective treatments for scleroderma patients.
Yeah, how much have you raised so far in Hamilton?
Hamilton is an amazing community. I was born and raised here, and it never ceases to amaze me. This community in the last 10 years has raised $575,000 for this rare condition. So,
and we got a goal for this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. $100,000. We came very close last year. We did hit it the year before, and if we're really lucky, that's a target that's achievable. So we put the money to great use, supporting the work of these doctors and others throughout the country.
Yeah, and you can pick up a form if you want to get involved or just help out at any Tim Hortons in town, whether they're one of Maureen or Dave Sauve's locations in the heart of the East End, where Maureen was born and raised, by the way, or anywhere across town on this camp day. Maybe that's something to think about, right, Maureen?
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to see everybody there. Come on in, and while you're there today, pick up a coffee and support the Children's Foundation, and pick up a walk pledge form. And we'd love to see you on Saturday at TV McQuestion Park on Upper Wentworth at the Link. Registration is at 10, walk begins at 11.
Okay, more on that info coming up. We have about a minute to go. Dr. Cox, we talked before the show and you put it best. This cash really helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You've heard that we don't know the cause of this. We've heard that we need better treatments. And I'm delighted to say that some of our colleagues in basic science research at St. Joseph's Hospital and McMaster University are actively pursuing new ideas that may help us to better understand and better treat this condition. And it's support from Maureen and the Scleroderma Society of Ontario that's vital to get that work started.
Okay, thank you to the two doctors, Dr. Nader, Dr. Gerard Cox as well, and you too, Maureen Sauve. Much
Thank you
appreciated.
very much.
Coming up on For the Record, news and notes.